Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi.
Hello, everyone. May the God be with you. Good afternoon. For me, though, it seems like an evening. Dear ladies and gentlemen, it is a huge honor for me to welcome you to the Russia Islamic World Kazan Forum. And we are very honored to welcome you to the Raptly presentation. And they will tell us how to cover ethno-confessional topics in video. And we will hear of today from Indira Zharova, head of the Raptly video production agency for Russia and CIS. And I welcome Indira to this stage. Just a second, I understand that you might want to speak immediately, but okay, I'm sorry about that. So firstly, I would like to welcome the moderator, the counselor of Kazan Forum, and a teacher with the Kazan University, and a person from Russia Today, Alla Belikova. Please welcome Alla on stage. Alla, you have the floor. Good afternoon, everybody. Yeah, as I said, huge welcome. Do we have simultaneous interpreting? It is a huge honor for me to welcome all of you here. And today's event is historic because both for Kazan Forum and for the agency being presented today, it's also historic. Last year, Raptly Video News Agency celebrated its 11th year birthday, and it is a unique experience that they offer. You will nearly never see a strictly video-oriented news agency. This is why Raptly is a historically important news agency, the first one to focus specifically on video content, as it is not only how we describe the events that counts, but also how we show it. And Raptly was the first institution to do it. Last year, as I said, during the media session, we had a wonderful presentation from Raptly, and it was the first time when the general public has learned of this news agency, and it was the first one for the Islamic world. So today we're going to dwell into the progress that has been achieved over this year and what the opportunities for cooperation are and how we can work together. And it is a huge honor for me to welcome the head of the Raptly Video Production Agency for Russia and CIS, Indira Zharova. So what you have just witnessed is a fraction of what Raptly shows globally. And as you can see, it shows national cultures via people, via individual stories. And we see here today that there are journalists and guests of the forum are present. among the audience here today, and thank you so much for coming. And so I wanted to talk about a broader subject, the cultural exchanges and the nuance they require both in the community of independent states and globally. First, though, let me tell you about Raptly. So we are the company that gives its video content to a huge number of news agencies globally. We go with the Vladimir Putin, for instance, and Mr. Mishustin and Mr. Lavrov when they go on their foreign visits. For instance, now Mr. Putin is in China, and we are there with him to document what he's doing and then share the video content with both Russian and foreign TV channels. And we see it our mission to promote that and to help our colleagues globally. We also cover entertainment, culture, sports. We also have a lot of archive content and documentaries. So it has been 10 years that we've been doing that for 10 years now in many languages, and we send our film crews to cover regional and international cultural events. We focus on the regions of Russia and the CIS countries. I think in Russia we have most, maybe all, of the global religions. And we have a lot of stringers that talk dozens of different languages, and they're of all ages, all sorts of skin colors, and all sorts of religious backgrounds as well. And that all goes to say that exchange of cultural values is something that is always in demand, and it has to do with our internal processes as well. Let's see the first video. So what you see here is the official part of the visit, and of course we film all of that, the important speeches behind the public speeches, with one of the decisions they made, but we also focus on non-verbal videos, the way leaders get in touch with one another, and we do our best to work with these materials in a fast way. The next video will show you how we cover different events, for instance, Reza Bayram, and of course this is an event that can happen globally in many, many different countries simultaneously. And we do our best to show the world that they're all united in traditions that basis on these events. Also more landscapes. This one we got from Turkmenistan National and it's a permanently burning hole. And it's 60 meters deep. It was burnt back then in the Soviet times and keeps on burning. In Turkey, in Azerbaijan, in Serbia, Morocco, Spain. People saw this footage thanks to us. These are flamingos from Kazakhstan. And that's a business card of sorts for us. It's in Karakol. It was filmed at the Lake of Karakol. It's filmed every year by one person. Maybe the birds are the same, but we order this every year, and the videos are always different. We get a lot of views, as our clients tell us. Moving on, another video we wanted to share. This one is about sports, and seeing the Olympics being in crisis, we see new events happening like X Games or the big future that happened in Kazan. And our goal is to cover all that, as well as new sports appearing and popularize not only the traditional sports that exist, but the emerging ones as well. And what we hear in every speech, a lot of so yeah, a lot of people say that there are problems with covering religion, and so how do you deal with that? How do you deal with the impartiality issue? How do you cover the religious events? Can you share your experience? Well, it's quite easy to work with the positive agenda, I believe, but sometimes the reality is, well, it's quite often that when we see things that are not too pleasant, and this is what we have to work with, sometimes the religious context is not obvious but is implied. So the question we ask ourselves is how to work with it. Let's get back to the Crocus terrorist attack. Of course, there was a lot of news coverage there, and it was a very relevant piece of news, and it was very important to show all of that. But I mean, this is a big tragedy, and it is important to talk about the personal aspect of it. And we tend to focus on that. We tend to focus on people, on individuals. And we were the first to get an interview with the boy from a Muslim family. His last name is Muslim, literally like that in Russia, and he helped people during this terrorist attack, and Raptly was the first news agency to find this boy. They found Islam, I'm sorry, not Muslim, his name in Russian is Islam. And what the video news agency did was to show compassion and joint effort to save people, because you know this person representing that that the terrorists tried to discredit with their awful and hideous act, he actually helped people who were the victims of this terrorist attack. And thank you so much for doing that. Well, when we see different religions getting into a confrontation, we see that, well, I mean, it might be confrontation, but it might be something bad as well when religions get to meet each other. And we do our best to cover both the positive and negative aspects of this inter-religion dialogue. And yeah, I think it's a credo of mine to ask of the utility of what people do. You know, I really like talking about utility, and so I see people representing different media here, different media outlets and different news agencies. And first and foremost, I think it would be nice for all of us to be friends, to befriend one another, and to cooperate. So the question I pose to you is, how can one cooperate with you if one so wishes? How can we exchange content? And secondly, how do we approach you to get an access to your database? Well, I'm here for you to do that. You can approach me. So we really believe that we have to work together so that there would be more positivity in the news. And I think that we really want to be a platform that helps people and enlightens people and educates them as well. We talked about, here about the religious events, and they all, except for the Turkmeni one, have been filmed by us. So imagine how diverse the picture could be if we got video content from you. So, for instance, there are certain ways to cooperate with us. Firstly, if you have a huge event coming up, we might be your official video news agency to share video materials and all of the broadcast services to the foreign new media outlets. But yeah, indeed, do I understand it correctly that You covered the Russia-Africa summit and some other events, right? Yes, true. This one, as well as the youth festival in Sochi, were the official media outlet for this one as well. And we also are going to be the official media partner of the BRICS summit that will happen here in Kazan. Yeah, so you will be like the official video news agency, right? Yeah, true. This is our innovation. But yeah, and so another way to cooperate is commercially. There are ways to do it. Maybe if you are an international media, we might provide you with a Russian speaker. Because in international media, well, it's hard for them to get a Russian speaker online because, there is a language barrier, of course, and of course there is a lot of red tape as well. And you saw an Egyptian journalist, Khaled, here. So last time he showed me, yes, I remember Mr. Khaled Al-Shawi. He was here just now, and so he told me that he doesn't have the Russian side of the ongoing Ukraine-Russia conflict. He only has the Ukrainian one, but he doesn't have the Russian side of things. He can't get it. We are nearly done. Okay, so I think that if you happen to have any questions, you have Indira, you have me. I'm always glad to be the person that connects you with the agency. As I see that there is another event coming up, so our time is up. Thank you so much for coming.